Hello everyone and welcome back to Sunday Club Scattered. Today we are going to be talking about the parable of the talents. God has given us all each different talents, all different and all equally important. And a parable is the kind of story that Jesus used to explain things to the people who followed him, to the people he spoke to. Today we're going to be learning a bit more about that. First of all, Ruth is going to read us the story of the parable of the talents from the Message version of the Bible.
Today's reading is taken from Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 to 30, the story about investment. It's also like a man going off on an extended trip. He called his servants together and delegated responsibilities. To one, he gave 5,000, to another, 2,000, to a third, 1,000, depending on their abilities. Then he left. Right off, the first servant went to work and doubled his master's investment. The second did the same. But the man with the single thousand dug a hole and carefully buried his master's money. After a long absence, the master of those three servants came back and settled up with them. The one given 5,000 showed him how he had doubled his investment. The master commended him. "Good work! You did your job well. From now on, be my partner." The servant with the 2,000 showed how he also had doubled his master's investment. His master commended him. "Good work! You did your job well. From now on, be my partner." The servant given 1,000 said, "Master, I know you have high standards and hate careless ways, that you demand the best and make no allowances for error. I was afraid I might disappoint you, so I found a good hiding place and secured your money. Here it is, safe and sound, down to the last cent." The master was furious. "That's a terrible way to live. It's criminal to live cautiously like that. If you knew I was after the best, why did you do less than the least? The least you could have done would have been to invest the sum with the bankers, where at least I would have gotten a little interest. Take the 1,000 and give it to the one who risked the most, and get rid of this play-it-safe who won't go out on a limb. Throw him out into utter darkness."
Can you think of something that you're good at? All of us are good at particularly different things. Do you like my tour, Lydia?
Yeah, it's great. Do you see mine?
For some of you it might be maths, some of you might be really creative, you might be really good at drawing or painting or designing, you might be really good at looking after people, you might be really sporty. All of these things are really important. They're called talents. God gives each of us different talents, and those are the things that we're good at. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to look at the parable that Ruth told us about in the Bible reading. A parable is a story that Jesus told in order to help explain things about heaven and about God's kingdom to the people who he met every day. The story starts with a rich man. He was getting ready to go on a really long journey. He had a lot of money and he needed to decide what he was going to do with it while he was away. He sent for his 3 helpers. He gave the first helper 5 bags of gold. This was a huge amount of money, more than he might have known what to do with. The second helper, he gave 2 bags of gold. Again, this was a vast amount of money. And the third helper, he gave 1 bag of gold. He gave them the money based on their talents and what he felt they could cope with. The man went on his journey, and the 3 helpers set about looking after the money. The first helper, who had the 5 bags of gold, invested it, worked hard with it, and he doubled his money. He had 10 bags of gold by the time the rich ruler came back from his journey. The second helper did the same. Remember, he had 2 bags of gold, and he also worked hard and doubled his money. The third helper did kind of a strange thing. He buried it. He put it in a hole in the ground. Now, this wasn't as ridiculous as it seemed. He was a bit scared of his master, and he wanted to keep the money safe. So he thought, instead of doing anything with it, he would just put it away and not touch it. But that's not really what God wants us to do with our talents. And we'll get to that in a minute. So the master came home from his journey, and he got his 3 helpers back to see him to find out what had happened to all his cash. The first helper said, "Master, I doubled your money. You gave me 5 bags of gold, and here are 10 bags of gold. I have worked really hard and invested it, and here you are." Well, the ruler was really proud and really happy with his helper, and he gave him lots more responsibility. The second helper did the same. He said, "Master, I have worked really hard with these 2 bags of gold that you gave me, and I have doubled your money as well. Here are 4 bags of gold." Again, the master was really pleased with him, and he gave him more responsibility and more jobs. Well, the third helper came to the master and he said, "Master, I looked after your money. You gave me 1 bag of gold, and I am giving you back 1 bag of gold." Well, the master was furious. He called the helper lazy, and he told him to get out of his sight. He gave the 1 bag of gold, remember, it's a big amount of money. He gave that to the first helper who had worked so hard and got 10 bags of gold. This is a little bit like us and our talents. God has given us all different talents, different things that we're good at. Did you notice something in the story? Each of the different helpers got a different amount of money. It's a bit like us and our talents. In the same way, God gives us different things. Some people will be really smart. Some people will be really good at running. Some people will be really kind and friendly. These things are all different, but they're all really important. And our talents grow as we use them. Much like the money in the story, the bags of money increased. In the story, the 2 helpers who used their money ended up with more money. When you use your talents, they increase as well. You get better at those things. So use your talents wisely and let them grow. The helper in the story who buried his money ended up having it taken away from him because he didn't use it. Jesus wants us to use our talents for the glory of his kingdom, no matter what they are.
What did one snowman say to the other snowman? Do you smell carrots?
Yar, har, har, har.
What's the difference between a buffalo and a bison? You can't wash your hands in a buffalo. What do you get if you cross a sheep with a kangaroo? A woolly jumper, of course.
We're going to hear some worship music now, and this is a really different one. It's a really special one. It's by the Watoto Children's Choir, and they are talented. They have some amazing talent. Watch this.
Jesus, we lift your name on high, your name on high. God, thank you that you give all of us talents and gifts that we are good at. Help us to use these to glorify you at home, at school, and everywhere we go. Amen.
Thank you for joining us in Sunday Club Scattered today. It's been really great to think about all of the talents that we have, all of the different gifts that God has given to us. Go out this week and use them all to God's glory. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you in a couple of weeks. See you soon.